IGN did an article about Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. A new, simpler, more thrilling, super evolved Shadowverse Worlds Beyond trial report. June 17th marks the 9th anniversary of the competitive digital trading card game Shadowverse. On this day, the newest title in the series, Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, will begin service. This title is attracting a lot of attention. I honestly, I wish there was more attention. Would be nice. Seems like it's actually not attracting as much attention as I'd like. Good morning, Gus. I don't know nothing about Worlds Beyond except the girl with the guns. She is a pretty important part though, to be fair. I had the opportunity to try it out at the Lawson Entertainment Presents Card Game Festival 2025, which was held earlier this month. I also was there and tried it out. Update on that. That video is basically done. I'm just awaiting Cygames approval because I got special filming permissions to film there. Otherwise, filming was not actually allowed. So I'm waiting for Cygames to give it the okay, and then I'll upload it as soon as possible. I'd like to share my impressions. I've been playing Shadowverse Hereafter, the previous title, for about 6 years. Oh, rookie numbers, dude. And I've been looking forward to the release of the title. The trial is only 40 minutes long, when I was able to play against a CPU in one of 3 classes and also play a room match against a Cygames press representative. So the event is actually, you're meant to play a room match with whoever's across from you. But looks like this IGN writer was able to play it against somebody actually from Cygames, so what a lucky duck. A PC release is also planned, but this time I played on a smartphone device. The texture and new features such as Super Evolution are better than expected. So the reason why I'm reading through this, I want to see what this IGN article, what their opinion is, because I thought the game was pretty good, but I'd like to give my overall impression. The game is easy to play, it is simple and well organized even though new elements have been added. The response, including sound effects when you touch the screen, feels really good. On top of that, the new element Super Evolution is a thrilling gimmick that allows you to easily perform strong moves. Go ahead and full screen this real quick. In PvP room matches, just having Super Evolution makes you feel excited because you don't know when your opponent will launch a strong attack. If only I could draw that card, I could win, or I'll save that card for when I get it. This triggers thrilling tactics at the end of the battle. The UI design has not changed much from the previous game, that is true, but the small details have been changed to make it easier to understand. So they basically just made it look prettier. Everybody knows the Shadowverse UI is not very good, and unfortunately the UI is mostly the same, but they did make it look prettier, they sexed it up a little bit, so it'll be fine probably. In addition, the implementation of extra play points, which can be said to be an answer to the long-standing issue of first come, first serve advantage in card games, felt meaningful. True. The extra play points you get from turn 1 to 5 and from turn 6 onwards is actually really important. Because it lets you get your big super evolved guy out earlier, it lets you do a lot of things. I don't know why this text didn't translate. Can I fix that? Hello? Even in the short time I spent playing the demo, I could see the high level of completion of this game. Of course, because there was a previous version, I expected a certain degree of finish. Okay, that's fair. But the quality of the feel and the quality of the new elements exceeded my expectations. I agree. It did feel really good. In summary, the gameplay of this game is simple and easy. On top of that, you can really feel the strategy of card battles and the room matches between people. Even if you're a beginner to card games, you don't need any prior knowledge or preparation, and I felt that you could have fun while playing or improving your skills. The flashy effects and beautiful illustrations are also a major attraction of this work. True, the effects are really good. From here on! Are those purple evolve points? Yeah, those are super evolve points, which is a new mechanic of this game. From here on, I would like to introduce the game's basic battle system and card types and go into what I feel like, okay, this we can kind of skip. Solo practice mode, play against the CPU. Quick rundown of battle rules, 40 cards, engage 1-on-1 battles, less 0, battles turn-based, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Follower spells. I mean, we all know this, right? We all play Shadowverse. Up to 5 followers and amulets can be placed on the field total. In the game, you can choose 1 of 7 classes and also neutral cards. The 3 classes that were available during this test. Dragon. Many high-cost, powerful followers. Difficult to maneuver quickly in the first half. Once your PP exceeds 7, you can launch powerful attacks all at once. Nemesis, which is Portalcraft. Mass-produce low-cost puppets, wait for an opportunity to win, use super evolution combo attacks to deal massive damage in one go. Nightmare, fight with slightly tricky cards that activate special effects at the cost of graveyard cards. Dragon is been designed as a strong class throughout many seasons in the previous game, and it's still strong in this game. Increases PP with spell cards and quickly deploys high-cost followers, easy to push through and win. In the previous game, Dragon was popular with beginners and advanced players alike, where it's easy to use in power, and it's just strong this time. I agree. Dragon... Well, I disagree with one thing. Dragon was not the strongest class in Shadowverse 1. I was at the Rage event of the final ever Shadowverse 1 major tournament. And at that event, they showed a slideshow of like a bunch of stats throughout the game's lifespan. And overwhelmingly, the strongest class overall was Runecraft. By a lot. By a lot. Runecraft was the best class in the entire game. So I disagree with the assertion that Dragon is the best class here. But it is true that in this demo, Dragoncraft is basically the best pre-built out of the three. The appeal of Shadowverse is that there are tricky decks for experienced card gamers who use detailed costs, and also simple decks that can win if you draw well. Sword decks are pretty simple, unless you're playing loot. Every season, there are decks that are easy for beginners to win. Other than that, I'll be listing the characteristics from the previous game. There's Witch spell cards, Bishop's defenses, Royal. So Witch is Rune, Haven, Royal Sword, and Forest. We'll be excited to see how the 4 classes revealed. Evolution is a trump card that lets beginners perform powerful attacks. So this is an explanation of Super Evolution, in case you know. Explain about Evolution here is you strength followers, turn 5 of the first turn, 4 of the second, or in Super Evolution, turn 7 of the first turn, or 6 of the second. And if your EP and SEP points twice per match can be increased by once per turn, the effect of the evolution is to increase the follower's attack and vitality by 2, while Super Evolution increases them by 3. Possible attack opponents while the turn is played, called, this is Rush. And then you got Evolution and Super Evolution effects, blah blah blah, pretty much self-explanatory. I was a little concerned that the new element of Super Evolution would make the game more complicated. That's a fair criticism or a fair concern. However, when I actually played the game, there were no particularly confusing elements, and I was able to understand it surprisingly smoothly. I think to get over this hump, the game really needs to have a good onboarding process. Shadowverse 1, the onboarding process is like pretty bad. It doesn't teach new players how to play effectively. It doesn't teach new players how to earn resources effectively. And you really have to go to a YouTuber or a Reddit post to figure that stuff out. So if the tutorial of Shadowverse Worlds Beyond is a little more clear, I think that would be really good for everybody. I feel like the clear and easy to read UI also plays a part. Having 2 EPs and SEPs can take strong actions every turn. I do have a concern from my time with the demo, if you guys will hear me out. Because evolve points and super evolve points are the same going first and second now, in terms of the amount. First has 2, second has 2 of each. It's not like Shadowverse 1, where going second you get an extra evolve point, unfortunately. So this has me concerned because when I was playing the demo, this might just be due to the fact that the pre-built decks are not combo-based or whatever, but because it's all value-based gaming, when you're going first, you have an overwhelming advantage, especially if you play Dragon, because you play one card that deals with multiple enemy threats. It forces the enemy to spend their evolve point dealing with your threat. Even though they're the one going second, they don't get an additional evolve point. So by the end of the exchange, going first ends up with more EPs, which is massive in this game. Maybe that's just a function of the way the pre-built decks are made, because the Dragon pre-built deck is so value-oriented and so good. But if you go first as Dragon in this demo, you cannot lose, because you play a 9 cost, clear the entire enemy board, force them to evolve to respond, then you're left with not only all of the tempo, but the evolve point remaining. So I think that going second, not having that extra evolve point, or not having a way to recover the evolve point could potentially be an issue. That being said, again, that might just be due to the limited factor of this demo specifically, but it is a concern I have. Also, it seems like it's easier to destroy followers in this game than the previous one, at least compared to the vanilla state. Yes, there is more hard removal. Pretty clear way to deplete the opponent's life and win. That's super evolution. Strong attacks with simple operations. Players can concentrate on tactics such as when should I discard. It's completed with the magic command RPG of just one button. Yes, it's true. There are concerns that the super evolutions are so strong that playing after the SEPs will be a strong game, or the game will drag on unnecessarily as both sides accumulate resources. Yes, that is a fair concern. We can expect the development team, which has a long history of operation, to adjust the balance. I have my doubts. I have my doubts, because if they adjust the balance in this way, where they make it so that super evolutions aren't a long game, that kind of just means you're introducing more OTK tactics, which of course Shadowverse 1 is known for, but might not be the style of game that you want every game, especially if you're trying to make a new start for the game and establish a new identity. Do you really want it to devolve back into OTKs and having super evolutions not matter that much? It's a tight balancing act. I hope they can pull it off. As it stands, I got the impression it's a very fast-paced battle where the winner is decided in less than 10 minutes per game. Yes, if you don't read the cards. Or if you know what all the cards do beforehand. This may be a minor point, but one nice thing about it is that the text boxes display card details have been made easier to see. Yes, the UI is so much prettier. Big agree. Text has been concise as possible. Evolution effects are color-coded, easier to check card details during the game. Small changes like this prioritize clarity that have been made throughout the battle screen. I agree. I also hope, this is kind of an out there hope, but I think it should be standard. I hope there's a colorblind mode, or multiple colorblind modes. Would be fantastic, especially if the color-codedness is meant for clarity. Hi Igni, I have an exam tomorrow, but I need a break from revision. Can I join the stream? Yeah, sure. What's good, my boy? We're reading this IGN Japan article and giving feedback. This title also features a very interesting attempt as a card game. Extra play points. Many years, it's been the norm that the player who goes first has an advantage, and the previous title was no exception. Turn was set one place earlier for evolutions for the player who goes second, so players who get second the advantage. New PP system allows you to add 1 PP to your current turn at your discretion. Can use twice per battle, once between turn 1 and 5, and once between turn 6 onwards. What I found interesting was the 11th cost on the 10th turn. The maximum PP is set at 10, but if you went second, you can use extra PP to get an additional play point. Yeah, that's true. I feel this is a great new feature that makes me want to try it out, but I wasn't able to test it out because it was only a short demo. Fair enough. Match was actually held as an official broadcast on the special Shadowverse Specials Fest. Cast members having a great time playing even though it's their first time playing. There's plenty of solo play, so you don't have to jump straight into online matches. This game has a feature that lets it easier for new players to get started. AI advance function. Wasn't able to try it out during the trial. Yes, so the trial didn't have the AI, but they're planning on having an AI, which I think is a huge part of the onboarding process of like teaching players how to play the game. Recommend the story mode to card game beginners. I had almost no card game experience before playing, so we recommend you try out the story mode. The battles that occurred during the story started out quite easy. Participating in ranked matches after I played a certain amount of story mode. Yeah, that's pretty normal. Big attraction of the series is the art. Yeah, the art looks great, blah, blah, blah. I like Love Sign and Esperanza. Nice, good taste. Game is free to play. You will need to pay to get cards. However, as a way to get cards, you can already get 1 pack every day, 10 packs with each set release, and recommended decks by progressing through the in-game missions. And every 10 packs purchased, you are guaranteed a legendary card. The pack update schedule has already been released, with 5 packs released in 6 months. It's a pretty fast pace, so keep an eye on the service from the start. And also, it says here there are park missions as well, where you can do missions in the Shadowverse Park. to get missions. Did you get to mess around at the park area? No, it was not in the demo, unfortunately. It was a pretty limiting demo. Game is free to play, give it a try. It'll be an excellent entry title for card game fans as well as beginners, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Pretty good article. Not a bad article. I have some doubts about some things that they're saying, given my experience with the game. But overall, pretty good.